Well, I really love recording videos, so here comes number 2. Today on Monday, or rather for you, the update before the base version went online. So what's going on this time? A big pump in Bitcoin. Yeah, it was a news-driven move and it was bought up again right away. Happy profits to everyone who managed to take their profits here. To be honest, it annoys me because the first video would have shown you exactly this take profit. I can also prove to you just how manipulated the market is. But I'd say, let's jump right in now. Everything that's important plus a crypto trading setup because now things are getting really wild. And now you can secure your profits too. How? You'll find out after the intro. Now new uptrend VIP trading. Your opportunity to copy the signals of 2 professional traders for free. They managed to grow an account from $4,000 to $30,000 within 2 months. The results in the group are also impressive. All you need for this is a deposit of $100 into your BingX account. You can find all further information below in the description. Let's quickly start with the crypto heat map. Yeah, so it's mixed. Bitcoin is basically flat, but it's holding steady at just under 41,000. XRP, a small pullback. Ethereum, a somewhat bigger pullback, if you can call it that. So let's just say the prices that have moved into the positive don't really make any difference at all. And the other currencies, well, everything looks pretty much the same there too. At this point, just a quick note, if you're looking for a cool event, the Dutch Blockchain Week is coming up. And there you'll have the opportunity to network, meet other people from the same industry. So if you're interested, check out the description below. I've included the link for you there and even managed to get a little bonus for the community. So feel free to take a look. I think it's important, especially in Europe, to push the topic of crypto and above all the crypto community forward a bit. Thanks again for the clicks on yesterday's video. Yeah, almost 2,000 views, 117 likes. Let's see if we can break the 200 mark today. There were also quite a few comments coming in. So at this point, you're warmly invited. Feel free to leave a comment below, share your opinion, or even if you say, I'm not interested, just quickly leave a free like. It doesn't cost you any money or time, and it really boosts the algorithm. If you're possibly watching the first video now and asking yourself, okay, Daniel, what's this all about? This is all about crypto news. And it's daily, honest, fact-based, transparent, and without any hype. If that sounds good to you, feel free to subscribe now. It's of course free as well. Plus, activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. A warm welcome to all the newcomers. And now let's continue. Let's jump straight into the economic data because there's a lot coming up this week as well. So aside from the big hope that this whole tariff issue will be set aside and people will say, yeah, okay, we've reached an agreement, there are still a few updates. And we're starting right away tomorrow on the 13th with the Consumer Price Index. That will be released at 2:30 p.m. Measures inflation at the consumer level and is definitely a strong indicator for the Fed. Yes, a higher than expected CPI could reinforce expectations of rising interest rates. And that in turn would be negative for crypto. If the figure comes in lower than expected, then logically we get a positive impulse. On Thursday, things continue right away with the Producer Price Index. Here, inflation is measured at the producer level, which is also quite an interesting indicator. Of course, inflation is always a factor. Are we seeing a break on inflation or rather an increase? An increase in the PPI could indicate rising production costs, which can lead to higher consumer prices and influence interest rate expectations. A decline in the PPI could point to easing inflationary pressure, which would again be positive for all risk assets. So let's summarize. Obviously, if consumer prices are lower, there's more money available for speculation. And then on Friday at 4 o'clock, we also have the Consumer Sentiment Report from the University of Michigan. That can also be an indicator. These are, let's call them the official figures that are relevant here. But you can see here too, there is a speech from Paul coming up. You should definitely, always keep an eye on that, even if it doesn't have anything directly to do with interest rate cuts for now. But we're talking about the Fed, and we're talking about Powell. And there can always be statements that might steer things in a different direction or the market makers might think, hey folks, let's take advantage of this. Let's give the market a good push. Yes, and once again, I found something for you. It's really exciting. Yes, Binance under fire. You can really notice it more and more, especially Elizabeth Warren, who's always been at the forefront of this. But there are also a few others involved, as you can see here, who would like to see some investigations carried out. So you can see here, suddenly Binance is involved, and Trump, who's making billion-dollar deals, and World Liberty Financial, and so on. So, yes, you could definitely say that what's going on is rather questionable, and this conflict of interest between business and politics, well, let's just leave it at that for now. On the other hand, I still want to give you this tip. You can definitely benefit from it. We can also see how crypto is really being pushed because of this right now. But feel free to let me know your opinion in the comments about what you think of all this. Do you say, wow, what Trump is doing is just not okay at all? Or do you say, no, hang on, it's actually all right? I mean, it's obviously not super cool, but you're using it for your own purposes. And before we get to the crypto trading setup, I have something else for you. I've talked about it several times already, and that's Swissborg. As you can see here, this company is based in Switzerland, so it's fully licensed. That was especially important to me, particularly when it comes to transparency. The usability is really cool. So especially for new crypto beginners and newbies, it's definitely interesting. You can use on-off ramping, which is the core feature. This is an aggregator here. So to explain, you have various CXs, meaning centralized exchanges. You have decentralized exchanges as well. So currently there should be 5 centralized exchanges, 12 decentralized exchanges, plus a cross-chain function. Cross-chain means, for example, moving from Ethereum to Solana or something like that. And the advantage is that you always get the best price because anyone who has been in the crypto space for a while knows this. Yeah, okay, well, now I want to buy something on PancakeSwap, but maybe it's cheaper somewhere else right now. This tool checks that for you completely automatically. And I think that's pretty cool. There are also savings plans you can set up, earn features, ways you can grow your tokens a bit more. So really cool stuff. And there's a special offer that I negotiated for you. Take a look in the description below. The link is there as well. Specifically, if you trade 100 euros, you have the chance to win up to 50 euros in Bitcoin. So every trade is a win. That much is clear. Of course, unless you end up in the red, this is not investment advice, just to be clear, but you know what I mean. But effectively, you can win up to 50 euros in Bitcoin on top of that. And with that, we come straight to the crypto trading setup. By the way, if you want to use VIP trading, where you get my Pro Trader signals for free, and the returns are really insane. I've also posted a lot about it in my Telegram group over the past 2 days. So if you're interested, check out the description. That's where you'll find the effective link. You need a BingX account, $100 in your account, and then you can get started. And with that, let's jump right into the heat map. And what you can see here in the back, we'll also take another look at this in TradingView in a moment. That's quite a significant news-driven move. And surprise, surprise, up there were a number of short positions that were just waiting to be liquidated. And that's exactly what happened. And the price rose exactly up to that point. So what a surprise. Once again, it's worth noting, yep, that's crypto. But what exactly happened now? There is, let's say, an agreement between the US and China. Specifically, the punitive tariffs will be suspended for 90 days on both sides. So the US is lowering its tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 30%. And China, in turn, is reducing tariffs on US imports from 125 to 10%. And that really caused some magical movement. But at this point, we shouldn't forget. Of course, as we can see here, it's already pretty wild. But it doesn't keep rising. It rises exactly up to this point. By the way, this is where I set the take profit in the account I manage for someone else, and I actually entered down here. So that was a really tasty trade. Especially considering I wasn't even at the computer at the time. So always set a take profit. I never thought it would be picked up so quickly. But what's interesting is down here, there's a zone and it could definitely be worth placing a limit order. Bitcoin 15-minute view. So I've already drawn at some support and resistance zones here with lines. By the way, I already shared these on X yesterday. So if you don't want to miss anything, you might want to follow me there. And what you can see again here is that these support zones are pretty interesting. So when I recorded my first take for this video, we were somewhere down here. And then, bam, the breakout to the upside happened. That would now be our new top here. What can beat money? Well, I'd say it's around 105,600. Let's see what happens next. But if you take a look at this here, there was exactly this retest and pullback again. And if we look in here, we can see that we're exactly back at this support zone. And now it gets interesting. Either there will be another clean breakout to the upside, the momentum continues, and it pushes further up. Because, well, these news-driven moves usually get retraced very quickly. We just saw that here. Within 30 minutes, the party was over. Or there could be another rejection here and we move a bit further down. If that's the case now, then this support area here would definitely be interesting. And let's remember where attractive liquidity lies. That's actually a bit further down. So that means it's quite conceivable that this zone could be revisited. But as I said, never say never. As we can see here, there's already a bit of an upward move again. So the next interesting zone should be right around 140,500. And if that level gets broken as well, holy moly, then things could keep moving. So we just have to wait and see. This is also a news-driven situation right now. What's going to happen? What news will come out? By the way, what if this support doesn't hold? So if you're wondering why I'm talking about both bullish and bearish scenarios, well, of course, it's because we have to be prepared for both possibilities. Personally, I'm feeling pretty bullish overall right now, but as I said, let's wait and see what happens. If this support here doesn't hold, then this would be the interesting Bitcoin support zone that we should definitely keep an eye on. At that point, we really have to see how things develop. What will continue to happen then? By the way, this is also another support area here. It was well tested back here, and here again there was a retest. So around 103,600, give or take. So those would be the two zones we should keep an eye on. But honestly, at the moment, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So regardless of this news top here, it doesn't look like we're going to crash down hard right now. That would only be a matter of liquidity, that it might still get picked up somewhere down below. Here's the weekly view again, real quick. And guys, we did it. It's accomplished. We finally made it here. We said it just yesterday that we would close the candle above 102,000. And that's exactly what happened. We're already seeing another positive push upwards here. So now things could really take off. And here's the 4-hour view again, just briefly. You can see it here very clearly. We are still in an uptrend, and it's just picture perfect. Every time there's a retest exactly on the line. Now let's see what happens next, but it's already looking really good. Let's take another look at XRP. Well, okay, now on a shorter time frame. A lot of liquidity has already been fished here. It wasn't that dramatic. What could be quite interesting is this zone. That might also be worth considering for a limit order. And if you take another quick look at the 3-day view, it's already lighting up nicely down here. And there's quite a bit of liquidity there, which I could definitely imagine might get picked up. Not necessarily today or tomorrow, but probably in the short term. Let's take another quick look at the chart for this. So here we see the 4-hour view. We had the downtrend, then the uptrend, then there was exactly this pullback into our support areas now, and from that point on things moved up nicely. So I'd say the bottom has formed quite cleanly here at around $2.33, give or take. So let's zoom in here. There was exactly another retest right there. There was already a rejection here before, then a retest here, another retest, another test here. And now it can continue moving upward. The big target now, of course, is this area. So let's say around $2.46, 47, give or take, that this level is finally broken through sustainably. We can also see that back there, the price always had a relatively hard time. And if that level is broken, we could be talking about over $2.50 pretty quickly. Now, at this point, we also have to consider the bearish scenario again. If for any reason the support here isn't enough, then we could slip back down again, so to around $2.34, give or take. And if that doesn't hold now, well, then we could end up right at the Fibonacci level, so around 230, give or take. But if that also doesn't hold, well, then we'd be back down here pretty quickly in our support area. Yeah, and if we take a look at Ethereum, that's also pretty wild. The rise was also tremendous. And there was an incredible amount of build-up down here, especially here. Guys, just look at these $1 million values. So, just in this one bar alone, we're definitely over $1 billion sitting down here. So, I honestly can't, and I hope for the sake of all altcoins that it won't, imagine that this will get taken out today or tomorrow. But I could definitely see just a block like this being revisited at some point. So anyone who's smart and says, all right, I'll just put in a limit order down here, that can definitely make sense, because up here, all the shorts are currently being taken out. And you just have to keep watching. There's also quite a bit of liquidity here. So, as I said, I'm more pro Bitcoin, and that's where I do most of my trades, which has proven to be the right move. That makes the most sense to me. But opportunities like these, well, should you really let them pass by? I just don't know. And let's take another quick look at the 4-hour chart. The rally was really impressive too. Here too, the chart is struggling again. There was initially a rejection around $2,600, give or take. But now the chart is once again making a sustained effort to break above this level. If that happens, this zone will be left behind quickly, and there's relatively little trading activity here. We can see that here as well. You can see how quickly the breakout to the upside happened. That means it's quite conceivable that we could quickly move up toward the $2,700 mark. If everything lines up now and the price continues to rise. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a free like. And of course, you're always welcome to leave a comment below as well. Otherwise, in closing, if you're interested in BingX VIP trading, but you're thinking, yeah, but how does the platform work? I've recorded this unlisted video for you, which you're also very welcome to share. You can get all the details from it. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow in the next update. Until then, all the best. Bye.